I am the Transit Safety Committee or Transit Safety Chair and also the Transit Planning Coordinator at PAG RTA. And this meeting, I will be introducing the new Transit Committee, which we have Donovan Speller, Sarah Little, Sean Gray, Shakita Lawrence, Jesus Gonzalez, Rafael Tapia. And now I would like to start a roll call with our voting members. So with the RTA, we have myself, um, Alana Jeremiah. Okay, next, Preston.
Hi, everyone. Preston McLaughlin, Transit Mobility Manager here with PEG RTA. And I do want to provide a little bit of clarity on this. In the past, we did have PAG RTA voting members, but moving forward, we're just facilitating. We're not actually, Dr. Flana or I are not voting members. We're just facilitators. Um, but I was the last safety officer before uh, Dr. Falana took over. So I'm just here to provide any supplemental information or provide any context or historical information if needed. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we'll move on to the roll call with the MTM individuals. So you can start off. Sean, you can go ahead.
Hi, I'm Sean, the General Manager for the RTA Essential Services under MTM. In the room, I have with me Rafael Tapia from our maintenance department, and I have Jesus Gonzalez, one of our fixed route CDL drivers with us. And then with that, I'll pass it on to Donovan to introduce who he has.
Hello, I'm Donovan Speller. I'm the Safety and Training Manager with MTM. And I have Sarah Little, who's our Operations Manager, and Shakita Lawrence, who's an operator.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We are going to move to item 2, which is the explanation of the Transit Safety Committee and the core responsibilities of the Transit Safety Committee, or the core responsibilities are to review the PTASP and approve it annually, identify and recommend mitigation or strategies to reduce the likelihood of consequences, and identify throughout the agency's safety risk assessment. Number 3, identify mitigations or strategies that may be ineffective, inappropriate, or were not implemented as intended. Number 4, identify safety deficiencies for purpose of continuous improvement. And then the goal of the Transit Safety Committee is to have an understanding of the PTASP, what it is, and to highlight how we can be safe for this region in Pima County. Yes, and this is an annual meeting that happens every year in December, and then it goes to the board in January. So next is item 3. So the Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan, the 2026 update, is it establishes how safety risks are identified, assessed, and mitigated, documents how the agency monitors safety performance, ensures compliance with the FTA safety requirements, and provides a formal mechanism for the committee to review and provide feedback. So it's time to review and approve the PTASP for this year. It occurs based on an annual basis, as I mentioned, for the FTA regulation, and it's the approval process is necessary for each time we meet to make any edits to the plan. And once this committee has reviewed and approved the PTAS, which I've provided to you all beforehand, I would provide you an opportunity to ask any questions as necessary. And yes, so before I continue, I would like to highlight the several changes that were made, and then I will ask if you guys have any questions. So this year, there were very few updates from last year. So the year changed on the document. The executive director was updated. The new signature page will be added with the necessary signatures. So my signature, the executive director, reference documents that refer to our past service provider, which was National Express / WeDriveU, will be updated to MTM. And we will be provided with documents in the following elements: element 2, element 5, element 6, element 7, element 8, element 12, and 14, as well as the appendices will be updated, indicating, so Appendix G indicates any changes to this year's plan, which I've highlighted the previously mentioned updates, and Appendix H updates the Oro Valley IGA that is for the years 2023 to 2026. Now, I would like to provide the opportunity for everyone to speak and provide any comments or questions on the PTAS before we move forward to approve this item. Were there any questions from anyone in Sean's room or Donovan's room on this document?
Do we need to establish the performance metrics prior to approving this, or is it okay with them just having zeros in there?
That is a good question. Preston, do you have an answer for this question or advice?
Sean, for the performance metrics, which section of the plan are you referring to?
Page 22 just has bus transit agent performance targets. Everything is just set to 0. I wasn't sure if that was intended or if we needed to get that data.
Yeah, historically it's just been 0 because our goal is to ensure that there are 0 accidents every year. I mean, I know those are lofty goals, but that should be our ultimate goal. We could, so to answer your question, it was, I would say, intentional to have the zeros there. With that said, though, I don't want to talk for anyone else, but I think we'd be okay if you have a different set of a different way in which that those numbers could be calculated, and we could adjust it to be more realistic, I guess. But if not, I think keeping it at 0 also works. Whatever you or and the committee feels is best.
Does anyone else on the committee have any insight or their thoughts on the question?
I will say I don't. Now that Preston's explained the target, it makes sense.
Okay. So besides that, did anyone else have any other questions on the updated PTASP or any questions on the PTASP in general? Going once? Going twice? Okay, well, if there's no additional comments, I would like to request the motion to recommend this document for approval to bring to the RTA Executive Directors for approval. If you're in favor, can you say aye?
Well, first, sorry.
Okay.
The process, just for anyone who's new to the committee, typically, so we're not voting members, Flana or
Oh,
I.
yeah.
So there needs to be one of the voting members, one of the 6 people, to make a motion to recommend the approval of this plan to then bring to the RTA board for their final approval. So one of the six of y'all needs to make that motion. And then the next step would be someone else from the committee, a different person, seconding the motion if they agree. And so once there's the first motion and then someone else seconds the motion, then we open up for any further discussion on the motion. If there isn't any further discussion, then we go to approve. And then, we'll just do all in favor say aye, and then everyone says aye, and then all opposed will say nay. And then that'll give anyone on the committee who's a voting member the ability to vote no on it if they want. And then once that's done, then the motion will be passed. And that's what will go, that's what will be documented. So, anyway, that's the process. So if we could continue that process. And again, we can't make the motion, so someone else will need to make the motion, and then someone else on the committee will need to second that motion. So I'll leave that to y'all to determine who wants to do that.
Thank you. This is only my second time doing this, so I'm still learning.
Yeah, it's a learning experience for everyone. So
And Delana, you did say you're removing all the We Drive You stuff out of there.
Correct.
Okay.
We Drive You will be taken off, and MTM will be replacing any mention in the PTASP.
yeah, we won't be able to move forward until one of the committee members makes a motion and just says, I make the motion to recommend approval of this plan to then be moved to the RTA board or something like that.
Okay, so we just have to say, it's not like we all say aye. So I would have to say, I make a motion for this to be moved forward to the RTA.
Right.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
so you've made the first motion, and then someone else in the committee will just say, I second the motion. And that means they agree with the motion and they want the motion to move forward. So someone else, Sean, if that's your official motion, I don't know if you were saying that hypothetically or if that's what you actually wanted to do.
I'll make it official. That's my official motion. Yes.
Okay. So Sean has made the motion to move this plan forward with recommended approval from the Transit Safety Committee. And now someone else will just need to say, I second the motion.
I second the motion. This is Donovan.
Okay. Thanks, Donovan.
Thank you.
So now the motion's been seconded. And then Falana, you can just say,
Okay.
Does anyone have any additional comments or feedback on this motion before we move to a vote?
Okay. So does anyone, anyone who agrees with this plan is ready for a recommendation, and have this approved by the board? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, say nay.
And you can do it one at a time. So I first and then nay.
Yeah. And
So
then also state your name so we can have a record.
So yeah, and that's the other thing is if it's unanimous, if everyone says aye, then they don't need to state their name because then it's
Yeah.
just assume that everyone said yes and it's a unanimous decision. If someone does say nay or someone abstains from the vote, so they decide not to vote, then that will need to be recorded of who said no or who abstained. But if it's unanimous, then that should be sufficient and you don't need to do like a roll call vote.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. First aye from Raphael, and then here's my aye. That's from Sean, and then
Aye.
we got a third one from Jesus Gonzalez.
Okay. Thank you.
Aye, Sarah.
Then I, Donovan.
Aye, Shaquille Lawrence.
Perfect. Thank you. So we have unanimously passed this PTASP this year to be approved to be brought to the RTA Executive Board. And now we'll move on to our next agenda item, which is item 4, which is the safety reports. So Donovan, please take it away. You'll now provide an update on all safety incidents since the contract has started in October. And yes, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon again. Thankfully, we haven't had any major incidents occur, knocking on wood. But one major thing we have seen are curb strikes. So our operators are experiencing curb strikes during service, whether they're turning or traveling through a parking lot. So to mitigate that, we are implementing a mirror adjust station at our facility. So before they pull out, they will pull into this mirror adjustment station to ensure their mirrors are properly set and adjusted so that they have a full view all around their vehicle. And we are also reinforcing reference points techniques during safety meetings. The second issue, which broke my heart, we had a mobility device securement issue. So improper securement led to a passenger injury during a left-hand turn. That passenger hit his head on a doorway, on a door jamb, whichever terminology you prefer. So we have enhanced securement training during new hire onboarding training. We have provided additional coaching for operators who are currently in service. And our October safety meeting was dedicated to mobility device securement. And of course, we continue to discuss mobility device securement on a daily and monthly basis in our safety meetings. And our last issue, which can be very scary, is operator fatigueness. So we had a rear end collision, which resulted from an operator dozing off. Thankfully, we were traveling at a low speed. It was minor damage. So we are reviewing fatigue management. We are ensuring that, we are refreshing operators to get the right amount of rest each night. I know we all have personal things we have to do outside of work, but if you're coming to operate a vehicle, we need to get the proper amount of rest. And that will be a topic in our safety meetings, which start tomorrow. And our focus for our safety culture is to always continue training and refreshers on high-risk areas and events. We want to be proactive engineering and procedural solutions to reduce operator error. And we're going to place an emphasis on operator accountability and passenger protection and ensure that we're providing the best customer service that we can possibly. And those are our safety reports thus far.
Thank you, Donovan. Does anyone have any comments or questions about these safety incidents for Donovan? Preston, do you have a question?
Yes. So just to get a little bit more clarity on the safety processes. Well, the first thing, I guess, starting with drivers, side swiping, stationary objects. I know that historically has been an issue in the yard, in the facility, getting in and out. I know that there have been efforts made to improve the flow of the vehicles at the Silver Lake yard. Has that been helpful? Are these, I guess my question is, are these issues happening at the yard, or are they happening outside, or a mixture of both? And if they're at the yard, what steps are being taken to help reduce the frequency of those issues happening?
Okay, hello, Preston. Knock on wood, we have not had any issues at the yard. These are when they are out in service, going through specific parking lots, picking up different passengers at different locations that may be tight space situations. So we tap the curve, no damage, no issues there. But still, we don't want to make contact with anything other than the roadway. So we are ensuring that we got our mirrors set properly. We have a 360-degree of view in and outside of our vehicle to prevent these situations. And we are directing operators, if you can't fit, don't commit. So if you think the space is too tight, don't go through there. We could pick the person up on the outside of whatever that space is. We could just have to do our door-to-door service and escort them to the vehicle. It may be an extra couple steps further, but prevent those curb strikes. And as we know, if you hit a curb hard enough, you can damage tires, and tires are a pricey thing right now. Rubber is not cheap, so we want to prevent spending money on tires and prevent damaging vehicles, which can cost money as well.
Yeah, it can.
As far as the yard, Sarah and our field safety managers have come up with a plan, and we've been moving in and out of the yard pretty swiftly, I would say, Sarah, to get us pulled out on time and get our pre-trips and post-trips done. And I think that plan is working excellent thus far as well.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Donovan. I like that phrase you said. It reminded me of the O.J. Simpson trial. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit.
That's funny.
But anyway, but it's good. I like the saying. It's a good saying. So, okay, yeah, no, it sounds good. And we visited the yard, and I think the new process for getting drivers in and out safely and quickly is working really well. So I'm really excited to see that because I know that was in the works for a long time back, months or a year, 2 years ago. I mean, it's been a long time. So that's good. That's really good that there haven't been any on-site accidents because there were for a period there were kind of regular on-site accidents and dings and bumps and stuff. So whatever y'all are doing seems to be working out pretty good, at least in the yard. So no, that's great. And the other question I had with the driver fatigue, because that is pretty scary. I know I know which incident you were talking about where the driver dozed off and then, rear-ended someone. I know there's motion sensors in the cameras that detect that. Is that how y'all are monitoring driver fatigue? Or I know you can't do that in real time either. You probably have to pull that data in order to see it. But what are the steps, just kind of on a day-to-day basis? Are there like are the road soups or any of the managers like checking out the drivers, making sure they're fully conscious before they take off, or what's that process look like?
Yes, so that does start in the morning doing check-in. So all of our field safety managers and dispatchers have been reasonably suspicion certified. So that doesn't include just drug and alcohol awareness. That includes fatigueness and to
Okay.
see people are looking fatigued or like they just wore out. So that starts in the morning doing check-in. And yes, our cameras do detect the fatigue aspect. So if they yawn too many times, or if it looks like their eyes are closed for a longer period than a blink, that does go off. It sends all the managers a notification to our email as well. So
Oh, okay.
that's the way we are managing that as well.
Interesting. Okay. Good to know. Thanks. Those are all the questions I had. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions or comments for Donovan? Okay. Then if there are no other questions or concerns, I would like to move to item number 5, which is adjournment. So just a couple of announcements to wrap up. Now that you've all voted and unanimously to move this towards the board, I'll be wrapping up the last couple of things, making sure I have all the reference documents and verifying MTM is the only transit agent or transit company mentioned in the PTASP, and it'll be going to the board for January 29th, 2026. Thank you for participating in this meeting, and I will be reaching out to you before the next meeting. So hopefully we can have this next meeting maybe November-ish and not December 16th, but last year we had it around December 16th, 15th-ish. So maybe this is a good time, but we'll discuss more later. But have a good rest of your day, and thank you again for helping to get this project completed. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, everyone. And I'll see y'all at the ops meeting in
Yes.
30 minutes.
Yeah,
Some of y'all at least.
some of y'all.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.